What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and finally, baseball has returned. The MLB and the Players Union have come to an agreement. I'm not going to get into all of the details about the agreement because at this point, in my eyes, it has been covered by everyone, everywhere, by everything. So at this point, you guys probably know all the details anyways. Plus, this is a Red Sox channel. So what I thought I would do is instead go over my top wish list for what the Red Sox should do now that the MLB lockout is over. Before I get into that, I want to say a couple of things. The first is I want to thank all of you. I created this channel a month before this lockout started, and in hindsight probably wasn't the greatest idea, but you guys have been supportive and subscribing and supporting me through this entire thing. So thank you all very much for everything you've done for me over this lockout. It means the world to me. The other thing is that we are still doing our 500 subscriber giveaway. If you don't know what I'm giving away, it is 3 autographed Red Sox card, a Tanner Houck, a Connor Seabold, and an Alex Verdugo signed and autographed card to someone once we hit 500 subscribers. So make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button. Also make sure you are telling your friends and family to hit that subscribe button so we can get there and you guys can get some free cards. Also make sure you guys are liking these videos. They help out the channel and the video a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. All right, so here's what I'm looking for from the Red Sox now that the ban has been lifted on transactions and stuff like that. The first want and need I think the Red Sox have to cover is the bullpen. There are a couple options for them to do. You can either trade for a big name closer like Josh Hader, or you can sign a couple of smaller named guys. Joe Kelly, Hunter Strickland, guys like that to fill holes in the bullpen. In my opinion, this has to be priority number 1. Even if we don't go after any of those big name free agents that are still out on the table, we are a contending team offensively and with our starting rotation. I know some people are going to say, well, Corbin, we need another spot in that rotation. We picked up 3 different guys who can all rotate through that 5th spot in the rotation. Houck and Pivetta are coming off massive postseasons. Houck's going into his sophomore year in the league. And obviously, Eovaldi and Sale are not people to mess around with. So in my opinion, our rotation's fairly solid. It's the bullpen that needs work. Without a bullpen, without being able to finish games off, we are not going to be a contending team. All the teams in the AL East have gotten better this offseason, and with the Red Sox performance last year, I think it's fair to say that Red Sox Nation and Red Sox ownership are expecting a similar year, and adding to the bullpen is the only way to achieve that. After that, it is sign Seiya Suzuki. Now, I know at the beginning of this lockout, I said that Suzuki might not be the best idea for the Red Sox, but I've kind of done a 180 on that whole thing. Now that there is a universal DH rule, Kyle Schwarber, who by the way I love and would be super excited to see him back, has an entire market open to him that he didn't really have before. Yes, there were National League teams looking for a Kyle Schwarber type player, especially after he showed that he can at least perform at a relatively decent level at first base. But now that the DH is in effect, Kyle Schwarber's price tag has gone up astronomically. He's a proven power hitter, a top of the lineup power hitter, which is kind of rare. And on top of that, he's very good at getting on base. A lot of teams are going to want Kyle Schwarber and drive his price up astronomically, which I think the Red Sox would be able to pay, but I just think their money is better allocated in other places like the bullpen and like extending other guys. So in my opinion, yes, Seiya Suzuki is not going to be cheap, but he's unproven in the MLB and is definitely a better fielder than Schwarber, so it could end up in the long run being a better investment than Kyle Schwarber, as painful as that is for me to say. The third thing that I think the Red Sox should do this offseason is stay away from Carlos Correa. Now, I know a couple of you guys are going to be thinking, Corbin, what are you talking about? He's a great shortstop. And I'm not going to dispute that fact. He's a fantastic shortstop. But look at what Corey Seager got for his deal in Texas. Carlos Correa is arguably a better shortstop in every way besides maybe power hitting than Corey Seager. And Correa is going to want more money because of that. It is going to be a huge deal to get Carlos Correa here, and it's going to be a long deal. The problem with getting him here is that you are giving up two people who I think, and we're going to talk about later, are more important to the Red Sox than Carlos Correa. And on top of that, you are more than likely stifling either Marcelo Meyer's path to the majors or Nick York's. Even if you bring up one of those two, the other one is going to end up stuck in the minors for a while with Carlos Correa here. And in my opinion, I don't really want that to happen. I think both of these guys are going to be superstars, and trading one away or holding one back for a little bit would be a really dumb decision in my mind. And finally, the last thing I want to talk about, those two guys that I mentioned earlier, Xander Bogaerts and Raphael Devers. Extend them. I know some people are going to say, Corbin, Xander Bogaerts is past his prime. He's over the hill. We need to get someone new in here. And maybe you're right, but also maybe you're wrong. Xander Bogaerts last season was still one of the best offensive shortstops in the entire game. He's been underrated in terms of talent his entire time in this league. And honestly, he is the face of the Boston Red Sox. Yes, you can argue that it's Devers or Martinez, but since Dustin Pedroia went down, this has been Xander Bogaerts' team. To give Xander Bogaerts away for basically nothing, even if you trade him away for a closer, you are losing that leadership, you are losing that offensive prowess, and on top of that, he's not a terrible defender. I think people are exaggerating how bad he is on the field, and he has already said that he's willing to come and play other positions, so it's not going to block Nick York or Marcelo Meyer, and if it really becomes a problem him at shortstop, we can always move him to second base or DH. But I just think that off the field, he's too valuable to this team to let go of. And speaking of too valuable, extend Raphael Devers. This is a no-brainer. You shouldn't have anything to argue against this. He is and is going to be one of, if not the best player in the American League at some point. You saw what he did during the playoffs with a hurt wrist. Imagine what he can do 3 or 4 years more experience in the league, fully healthy. He's going to be a monster. And he's going to be the face of the Red Sox someday. So don't let Xander Bogaerts or Raphael Devers walk. In my opinion, those are both terrible losses to this Red Sox organization. Those are my top wish lists going into this offseason for the Red Sox. Let me know in the comment section down below which one of those items do you think should be the number one priority going into this offseason. Do you think I missed something? Is there something that you think should replace one of these? Let me know all your thoughts down below. Also, let me know all your thoughts on baseball being back, on the lockout, everything that happened. I want to hear what you guys think about everything. And lastly, before I go, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button. Again, we are only 35 subscribers away from that 500 subscriber giveaway, so make sure you guys are hitting that button, telling other people to hit that button, and make sure you guys are liking the video as well. If you made it to the end of this, you clearly like the content, so why not hit that like button. Thank you all very much for clicking on this video. Thank you all for everything you've done for me during this lockout. Thank God baseball is back, and I will see you in the next one.